Go.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, trophy hunters of all ages. This is the 31st episode of the Raw Cuts Gaming Podcast. Woo! I'm your host tonight, CJ, a.k.a. a solo gamer, a.k.a. the trophy hunter. And I'm joined, as always, by Mr. Clothing Optional himself. He's definitely not a noob. He's got that chest hair hanging free.
Oof.
It is Big D.
Give me some love, everybody. Give me some love.
Hey! That naked gamer.
Oh, you got that heat in there tonight.
I do
hard
know,
already.
some good news going tonight. Okay, so, and we're joined, as always, by...
And if you smell something,
Hold your phone closer. Hold your phone closer.
I know. He's having a good time playing those sound effects to himself.
Yeah.
You gotta hold it just a little bit closer to the mic next time. Nice try.
There it is. Is cooking.
Yeah, still didn't play very well. Anyway, it is the hot taken, Twitter beef making, gamer mediocre himself, Woodsy, a.k.a. the Math. I was going to throw something in about you can't know how to work your fucking phone, but I fucking got stumbled in the words, and I fucking choked, and it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Woodsy, I love you. Welcome to the show.
Good evening, all you fine, wonderful ladies and gents out there.
And I will say this, if you are a podcast-only listener, I would highly recommend turning into the YouTube feed. It's not quite the naked show we had a few weeks ago, but Woodsy has that goatee going. If you want to see a spectacle, he is looking good tonight.
Woo!
Woodsy.
You know what? I kind of look like that guy at a bar you might cheat on your husband with for the first time.
Or you kind of the guy who might pull you over and write a ticket for going 5 over, you know?
Right.
So
Wants to make some bad decisions.
We thank you, the listener, for turning into all the rarest takes in the gaming podcast here. As always, we bring you all of our own unique takes on all things video games, all while recording and publishing our episodes edit-free. We bring you all the podcasts, all the podcast listening staples every week on Apple, Google, Spotify, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and Anchor.
I'm surprised you just don't have that committed to memory at this juncture.
I do. I run into problems when I try to read it, actually, because I don't know. I just do it from memory at this point. So, anyway, if you'd like to watch our Ugly Mugs for whatever reason, you can turn to the YouTube via the YouTube channel, Rockets Gaming, and we'll get into our Twitchies later. So, with all the rigmarole out of the way, we will be getting to what we've been playing this week in gaming, and maybe a pile o' shame update. Last week I teased a Ghost of Tsushima trophy time update. However, I think I want to reserve that for the spoiler cast. So we'll hold on to that for a little bit. So with all that being said, Big D,
It's me. AKA.
What have you been playing, man?
Holy shit, man. Well, as everyone knows, we are all from the upper Midwest, so the last week has been colder than shit. So, I've been playing a lot of video games, like more than usual. So, again, pounding through the old Ghost of Tsushima. I blasted through Act 2, and I'm kind of like you, CJ. I get hooked, and then I want to put in my hours and do all the side missions because I know my ass is not coming back after I beat the game. So, except for multiplayer.
Wow, so you're doing all of them. Good job, D.
Yeah, man. I'm doing all them side missions. So I'm also kind of like how I did Fallout and Skyrim and all that stuff. And kind of like the South Park episode, I go fuck around killing all the pigs, and then I go into the final 2 or 3 battles, and it's not a problem.
Right. Coming in OP.
Well, and that's the thing is that I thought that difficulty, it does a good job. Now you've just entered the third act?
I'm trying to think of what mission I'm on. I've done a couple in the Act 3.
Okay.
Okay.
So...
And I just went around and I did...
decent job at ramping up, even on like normal mode.
I did the one. I forget if it was a mythic or if it was a side quest that you had to travel to like the 5 corners of the map.
Right.
To get the pieces of armor. I think that was a mythic. Yeah. So I just got done with that one.
The general's armor.
Yeah. When you had a duel with all the Mongol generals, that was by far the easiest duels of any of them. So I don't know. That was kind of a weird curveball for me, because those generals, their timing and stuff was super easy to figure out. Like a lot of the mythic tales to get the special moves and stuff. That shit was way harder to figure out, and so I was thinking Act 3. I always roll my eyes a bit when I see the duel. I'm like, fuck, this is gonna take me a while. And then you get to this one, and it was like, oh, these guys are super easy to take down. That's weird.
Right.
So, but yeah, I'm hoping either this week or next week we should be able to finish that off, and then we'll do the spoiler cast. So we'll try and get it done this week so that we can do it next week. Destruction All-Stars with you guys. Obviously Rocket League, we always F around in there once in a while. Call of Duty, Fortnite, I think we played a few rounds.
You did play Fortnite.
Oh my god. Reminded us of why we don't do it anymore.
Look, I had started DJ,
so dumb.
and then about 10 minutes into the first game after I died, and I was watching everybody else, I was like, you know what?
This is dumb.
No. Just went back and deleted that shit. Not even 15 minutes after I installed it. I can't do that game anymore.
Yeah, man, and we powered up the Switch. I bought that new Mario game, the Mario 3D World plus the Fury. I haven't made it to the Bowser's Fury part yet.
I've heard it's really good. I heard they really did a great job with it. It's not just like added bonus levels. There's a bunch of new stuff.
It's like I've heard it's like a whole second game because
I think you have to like toggle between the games.
Yes, So it starts you off in that first older game, and it makes you go through it. So I'm doing that right now. That one is so we played through World 1 and it was okay. The new guys and the mechanics and some of that stuff is cool. The actual controlling of the dude is actually way harder than what it should be. Particularly like with jumps and then moving your dude around to aim him to come down on somebody, traditional Mario style, right? It almost has that N64 vibe where you close your eyes and pray for the best when you do a move. and you're just mashing buttons because you don't know where the fuck Mario is going to end up at the end.
I wonder if that has something to do with how they had to translate it from like the Wii U controls to.
It could be, but the thing that irritated me most was that there was no way to adjust the sensitivity. That was what I was looking for, because it really seemed to be a problem with the stick being way too sensitive.
Too fast?
Yeah, well, it's so you jump, and if you're holding the stick, the Mario will like fly halfway across the fucking screen. It's like.
Right.
And then, actually, not more than an hour ago, 2 hours ago. Hi Bojangles. We got that platinum /100% on Astrobot Rescue Mission VR. So my boy actually got the last 2. So it was and CJ and I, we actually just decided we're gonna cover this for trophy time next week. And I'll help out, but one of them was called The Gentleman. So there's you played through VR, right?
Yeah, I did.
So the spider level, the spider boss, at the end, the last thing you do is like blow off her jacket or whatever. And so that last trophy is called The Gentleman. You literally have to fire the last ninja star to break her shirt open, and then while looking away, and then you keep looking away while she falls down. And if you do all that, you get a trophy called The Gentleman. That one was pretty funny. And then we had forgotten one where you had to have a dude get on the tightrope and then pull it out from under him to kill him. That was one of them.
I love that when they have the trophy names that are like silly and whatnot, like fitting.
Yeah, it was pretty hilarious. But no, so my boy ended up getting that, and then we actually for about an hour after that, he started digging into the Playroom. So And man, I CJ was interested in what I was thinking on that too. But man, that the first hour of that was a hell of a lot of fun to just watch him do that. Blowing into the controller, man, that was pretty cool.
It's wild, right?
The crazy suits that he's getting into with the springs underneath them and
the frog
and all
suit,
that. The frog suit and all that. Man, that was cool. And like you've said it a couple times on here, Siege. The artifacts. Like, holy shit, you start feeling pretty old. Luckily, he started with the PS3.
Well, just the way the levels are laid out too, where it's like, like things are connected. Like you'll see it, like where it's connected by like the controlling cables from like the old PS1 controllers.
Yes.
And you see the memory cards you platform off of and things. It's just
Yeah.
A little attention to detail like that is just second to none, man.
I actually had noticed the first one of those because again he probably started in an odd spot, but we noticed there was one level where some of the platforms to jump up were actually the triggers.
Yep, exactly.
I was like, oh my god, that's ridiculous. I love it.
Hey, everything in that game is just top to bottom. It's just packed in there with love.
That game should win the award for most meta video game ever.
Yeah, like it's just love for video games or love for PlayStation, I guess.
Right.
And all the Astrobots in the mission are all PlayStation games. You'll see like Resident Evil ones and
that's what that was. Okay.
Yeah. All depicting various games or scenes from various games.
Okay, I was trying to
Whenever
figure that out.
Whenever you see like one of the dudes with a camera or anything,
it's from a game. Yeah, Metal Gear.
It's
so game is in there, man.
In that PS3 level, there was it must have been God of War. So there was a bot that had paint on him, and he had a little one with him, and they were in a boat. And I actually just put that together because I was like, it was like a ninja or something. And I was like,
that's exactly it. That was the beach level where you come down the slide and go to the beach, right? Exactly. Yeah. So right there, you see them in the boat in the beach. Yeah. So you walk around, you'll see all these classic PlayStation games. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was sweet. So loving that. So we'll definitely play more of that this week. So he's going to be hooked on that shit. He'll be down here playing that before I wake up. So. It would remind me of me when I was little.
That's Hannah's favorite game. Hannah loves playing it. Lincoln loves watching, which is fortunate for now.
What? Oh man, you got one that'll watch? Holy shit! Yep. I don't even know what that's like.
Yep. Lincoln just started. He just controlled.
Give me that
for the first time.
Yeah, Julia just grabs the controller from me.
Yeah, that's how my second one is. Yeah. Crazy times.
Yeah. Nice.
So that's what I got. Woodsy, what have you been trying to play?
So, played, like we were just talking about Fortnite, really I'm just kind of over that game. Unless they, like, bring back the, like, original OG level, I just don't care anymore. That sounds very old manish of me, but I'm just like, nah, I'm good.
Well, and just as a group, it's hard to put in all the time required to be good at it. And we always end up in that weird place where we're top 10 and we don't win, and when we run into the crews that are real dudes, we just get fucking smoked. But
that's in part like the nature of the beast though with battle royale style games is like there's no like the only way to win is literally to beat everybody.
Right.
Versus like a Call of Duty where you win as like an 8-person team. Right? And it's about contributing to the team.
Yeah.
Which I mean, but then you go if you go into free for all mode, and I guarantee you we get our ass kicked just the same.
Right.
Possibly.
But so I'm more in the vein of those dudes that we usually run into, like we've played with some like your nephew and stuff.
Yeah.
They spend ridiculous amount of hours in the sandbox mode, learning how to build quickly and to do the things with the doors and all. And it's like I would I would just very much rather play a different game.
So played some more Destruction All-Stars.
That game's growing on us.
Ghost of Tsushima. Would love to get either Dustin or CJ up to level hundo so we could do the fucking raid.
We got to get in that raid, man.
I want to get in it bad.
Come on, Siege. Why don't you want to do the raid?
Come on, CJ. Come on, CJ. He's going to do it. He's going to do it.
He's going to do one.
I jumped into No Man's Sky just because I wanted to see what was up with the new version that they got out on the PS5, and it is impressive.
Did you visit the farm?
I didn't because
Is it still there?
I couldn't. I had to figure out how to get fuel for my spaceship again, as I ran out. So I couldn't launch myself.
You're stuck on the fucking planet, yeah.
I just tooled around and just looked around and went underwater, and it's a real pretty game. Always
awesome.
was, but it's just even much prettier. You can tell it's running at a smooth 60 frames per second.
So the way you're talking about it, I'm assuming you were not in VR. You were just on the PS5.
I hadn't checked into the VR yet.
All right, we got to do that.
The normal one. So there is a bit of a procedure to transfer your PS4 save data to your PS5. So you know how you can install both like the PS4 version and the PS5 version on your console at the same time? Do that. Because then when you go into the PS4 version, there will be an option to upload your save data to their server to transfer to PlayStation 5. And then you can just go into your PlayStation 5, download it from immediately that first menu, and then you're good to go. And then you can delete the PS4 version of the game.
So there's no way to just... So I have the... Okay. So I just have the PS4 one on there from before.
The game is now, you can download the PS4 version or the PS5 version. It's a free upgrade.
Okay.
But it's technically a new game because it's on the PS5.
All right.
So there's a little rigmarole for the file transfer. So for those of you out there. But yeah, that was awesome. Just seeing that game again, I'd like to spend a little bit more time with that.
Yeah, we got to log back into the farm.
Is there new trophies associated with the PS5 version?
There must be because I popped a whole bunch when I loaded my save data, baby. So
yeah, we gotta get back to the farm, man. We gotta see what fusion igniters are worth now. Probably jack shit.
I don't know. Maybe.
Because man, I don't even think we've talked about this game since we started this
Rocket
podcast.
ship to the moon.
Man, I crushed that game last summer, and I got into all the crafting and all that other crap, and I figured out that end game with the fusion igniters, and I found some planet, and I made all the generators and all that other bullshit, and I made the world's biggest goddamn greenhouse, and I grew everything you needed to grow to make fusion igniters.
Off of your sweat.
I was almost maxed out at whatever that was, six bill.
So then lastly, I downloaded and played the demo for Balan Wonderworld. So this was a game that it debuted in one of the PlayStation 5 things. It was coming to PlayStation 5. It kind of looks like Mario / the old Sega game Knights. But damn, it's bad. And I had heard rumblings that it was bad because I had seen through my YouTube feed the preview of, I guess, the Kind of Funny guys did a featurette on it as well, and apparently it's bad from what they're saying in there. And yeah, I can confirm it's not a good game. A lot of good, some interesting ideas on a platformer, but just not very well executed at all. So, which is too bad. So, it's big thing that intrigued me from a feature standpoint was so sort of like Mario Odyssey where you change hats, right? And you're doing different things. Same thing with this, but you change into a suit effectively. So, and I was hoping it was going to be kind of a cool play on that gameplay style, but nope, it's not good. Not good at all.
Well, that's sad to hear. I don't like when games are shitty.
I do, because then I don't have to buy them.
Oh, shame.
Well, you should buy it, though, because you played it, so you're going to want to remember.
You probably will buy
it. Yeah. Maybe when it's on sale.
$2.
12.
Yeah. So is that it? What is it?
Yeah, that's it, bro.
So I have. This is probably of all the.
No, I should have passed it to you. That's my bad.
No worries. No worries.
Little
Since I
fucking
started playing
rude
games
bastard.
again, this is probably the least amount of games I've played in a week. I have been playing the game of life this past week, so it's been a lot going on in the old Randall household. So I've been going to bed early, like, you know, a responsible adult, unfortunately. And yeah, I haven't been playing much shit at all. I did play a little Hyroxia too, and I did break what I was gonna say, and I have been playing a little more Hitman 3. I just can't stop playing that damn game, man. Although I'm trying to limit myself to Dubai, and I've been trying to just kind of chip away at the various trophies that I can attain. But I did find out that Reddit, which I know jack shit about, is the place to go to. I subscribe to Hitman 3 Reddit, and they have a post there that's pinned, allegedly, that they update frequently. So in this pinned post, it talks about how they know that trophies are a problem and they're looking at it. So I've been frequently Reddit just for this, basically, to see if they fixed this shit yet, and they haven't. So just kind of playing through Dubai. Dubai is an awesome level. You know, not a whole lot to say there other than, like, you know, when you start the mission out, it's the tallest building in the world, and you walk up the steps, and it has this beautiful, like, sun shining in and music playing and everything. It's such a cool level, man. It's just, have you been playing any Hitman at all, or no? Did you pick that up or no?
No, I'm operating in. I did buy it, and it's downloaded and ready. I'm just operating via the way I've been instructed by my good friend CJ Brindle. I'm crushing my ghosts before I hop into Hitman. Yeah. Otherwise there won't be any going back because
Because once you put that sword down, you won't come back.
Correct. I figured once I started murdering people in fun and creative ways, I probably won't be back in Ghosts.
You can kill a dude with a banana. You know, that's
yeah.
awesome. Man.
See, I'm gonna get really into that.
Little guy with the golf ball. It's awesome. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But so I haven't been playing jack shit this week though. So hopefully now my life is settling down here a little bit, and I will be getting back into the games hard in the paint.
Hooray!
For the next 3 days in particular.
And tonight we're going live tonight, baby.
Very hard in the paint in the next 3 days.
Woo! He's back, baby.
So that all being said, I don't have much more to say to that. So
let's get drunk.
Let's get drunk.
Let's get drunk.
So, news dropped today. We're recording Tuesday that Nintendo is having a direct on tomorrow. What is tomorrow? February 17th, which is
Wednesday.
For all
that was pretty impressive. I don't know if you fuckers noticed that or not.
I saw it. That was a good sky pour.
So this is of note because it's not one of their mini directs. It's an actual direct. They haven't had a direct in probably a year and a half or so. So that's kind of
something like that.
A good 50 minutes long. So it'll be a big old beefy direct. And they're talking about games coming out this year. So
awesome.
See, I know you kind of started getting more into the old Switch ecosystem. What are you looking for in this direct? Anything you're hoping to see or want to see?
Oh man, well, hey. Now that I have a Switch, man, it'd be cool to hear something on maybe a new F-Zero. Is that a thing?
Oh,
is that coming
shit.
back? I don't know.
Shit, dude.
Like, it's not a rumor or anything I've heard. I'm just now that I have one back.
All of our own unique takes, man. I like
That's
it.
right. I'm just dumping shit. When was the last time they had a Mario Party? Do they have a new one on Switch?
I don't know. I think
They
there
do.
is Mario Party, but it's like they just ported the one from the Wii U.
Oh yeah,
They did.
F that. They need a new one.
They did. So we have the Mario Party, and it's not great.
I don't
Oh
know.
It's fine. It's just it doesn't have quite that magic it had, back in the day. So
They should what they should really do is, like, they crushed it with the Smash Bros. Right? It would be super dope if they did like a Mario Party Deluxe like that, where they included basically all of the mini games, minus the ones from the Wii U, right? Because you don't have that controller. But like, get all the mini games in there. Why the fuck not? Just have the biggest fucking pile of mini games.
They actually should do that. Just like a Mario Party All Stars or whatever, where it's like all the games you loved Like, and then it's all, like you said, it's all of the Smash Brothers characters.
Right.
You can be
All
literally
of the
anybody.
boards.
All the boards. Yeah, you should just be able to play that thing on random in
Yep.
infinite.
And you can play, like, the options you can play it are the variants of all the different variations that they did in the.
Well, each board would have the board rules. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you either have the little stars or the big stars or whatever. Like,
And I'd
yeah.
be fine with
Dude,
that. They don't need
I
to
love
make.
that game.
They don't need to really make anything new for that.
No,
Just
Right.
give me that.
they've already done it. Yeah. Yeah, stop
So-
trying to pretend like it's new, right? And I think we've had this discussion with some of the other games that are out there, the Call of Duties and all that shit. Like, why isn't that just a goddamn subscription? Like, just stop pretending that this is a new game. Madden, right?
Yeah, exactly.
$50 a year, just stop.
Right. Give me the roster updates and
Right.
players and stats.
Exactly.
Yeah. So rumors are, they're going to be announcing a couple more Smash characters. Now, they're getting down to the end of this, whatever, character 2-pack, and I think they're going to kind of tap out after that, allegedly.
I thought it was the last one. Yeah.
Yeah, so like 3 more characters left. Everyone's been pining for Waluigi. He's kind of like the one Mario character that's
Missing.
Yeah, that's really shocking that he's not in there yet.
Yep.
Well, so speaking of Madden, like, is this in that same vein? Like, he's just missing so that they could hold him out, so that they could drop him at some point, so that they keep getting revenue from these character packs?
Well,
Like, is
my
that what
thing
this
is
is
like,
about?
so that there's 3 characters left. If they are going to announce them, maybe they will save him for last because that's when everyone's been pining for it. Maybe that, or because or they have, we've heard Master Chief, we've heard other various characters. So the most recent one was Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII, and before that it was Minecraft, which was I don't know what exciting me. So
Was it a brick?
well, that was the one where I don't know if you guys saw the images floating on Twitter, but like his victory pose. So after you win a match, they have a little victory pose and whatnot, and it was him holding his little pickaxe. He was holding it like from here, like this. So like big old like pickaxe like coming up like this. So he'd like spin around like this on the screen or whatever. So and then it actually got patched out like. Not long after. So you guys are interested, and for all you podcast listeners, I was holding my fist because it was a big old dick. So it looks like a big old dick. It was pretty funny.
God, that's awesome.
So anyway, Smash. Then I've heard Breath of the Wild 2. They're due to give an update.
I feel like that one's the most obvious.
Yep. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Metroid update of sorts, Metroid 4. I know that game went back into development, but I'm hoping that they announce something. I did see Jason Schreier tweet out that he's hoping for a Zelda 35, like Mario 35. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Mario 35.
Yes, I bought that one too. Yep.
Yeah, well, so Mario 35 is like, I thought it was a free-to-play game download, but we didn't even hear that. Like, I thought it was like this time-based thing where it's like, kind of like Tetris 99 with Mario, but with and then whenever Jason Schreier tweets me that out, I'm always wondering, like, does he know something, or is he just kind of like saying this and whatnot, and what he's looking for. So, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what they have in store for this year because we don't know a whole lot what's coming out. So,
I wonder what they would. I wonder if they would be like, because they started with the GameCube Mario. They started with Mario Sunshine, right, on the last one. So I wonder if it would be like, oh no, Mario 64 was there. So I wonder if it would be Majora's Mask and oh my God, what was the original one on N64?
The Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time, thank you. And
Sure.
then the GameCube one, and then the Wii one. I wonder if it'd be 4 of them.
I'm curious, man. It's a big old beefy, like I said, 50-minute show. So I guess we'll see, on the 17th, what is on store for the old Nintendo Direct.
Yeah. The one thing I really want out of it, which I think a lot of people have already settled on as far as speculation, that they still think it's going to happen. Might even happen this year, but it won't. If it does happen this year, it's not going to happen until the fall. And that is a Wii Pro or a Switch Pro. So
Yeah, that would definitely be a big one to drop there.
Because I'm at the point where I really actually want to buy a Switch, and I'm just pissed because I've held on so fucking long.
Now the cool part with that new Mario game is that we can play that one all together. You can play the missions and shit as a 4-player via Nintendo Online. It's pretty
Nice.
kick-ass. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and I'm thinking about, like, as pissed off as I was that they charged how many ever dollars for the Mario collection. God damn it! I'm gonna end up buying that piece of shit on like just to have it. Yeah. So and I'm gonna own a fucking Switch game and not have a Switch, but whatever.
There's some weird stat going around where when the Switch dropped, there was more people that bought Zelda or than owned Switches because people were buying physical and digital copies of it. Yeah.
That's weird.
So yeah. So in other news, CD Projekt Red has been hacked. They came out on Twitter and posted the note they received and put it all out there saying they're being blackmailed right now. Some hackers came in, obtained source code to Cyberpunk, Witcher 3, an unreleased version of Witcher 3 and others.
And the engine.
And the engine, and I think that was a big thing.
Yes,
and then the other legal, HR, other potentially embarrassing information.
They grabbed the whole bag.
Yeah. They wanted $1 million, I think it was $1 million or something, and CD Projekt Red said, no, F you, we're not going to commit to, this terrorist attack. And so, so then it sounds like the source code was up for sale on the old dark web.
And it's sold.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did sell it.
Yeah.
$7 million.
They announced the amount? Oh, I did not.
Wow, so they were giving CJ Projekt Red a deal.
Yes. Some people who monitor traffic on the dark web and the auction houses on the dark web, yeah, they've confirmed it's sold, and it sold for $7 million. So I wonder who bought it and what they're going to do with it.
What they're going to do with it? Yeah.
What would you do with it?
And sort of the weird lead that got buried is, what is this other version of Witcher 3 that they uncovered?
Is it the PS5 version?
Is it the enhanced? Who knows? Hopefully.
Well, what could you do with that legally to make revenue? Like
I don't think you can do anything with it, because
no.
Well, I'm just wondering why that's worth $7 million to somebody. I'm super curious, like what you do with that makes it worthwhile. Like if you're intending on ripping off the engine and making games.
Hey, it may have been a private person. Very well could have been corporate espionage who made that purchase. I mean, who knows? I mean, not to go down the conspiracy hole about China and is responsible for fucking everything, but Tencent has more money than God.
Yeah, it's nothing to them. Yeah.
They make games. they could reverse engineer a lot of that source code and possibly apply it in various ways to theirs, or see how.
Because that's in China, do they get away with that shit legally? Because, does a Russian company like CJ Projekt Red have any recourse for a Chinese company ripping them off? Like with their engine and source code and stuff like that?
Well, how would you... The problem is you'd have to be able to prove it.
Well, if you ended up... Like, if it's a PC game, you'd obviously be able to dig into the code and see that it was goddamn copy-pasted.
Well, right, but I'm certain that they're not going to, they're not going to Control-C, Control-P, man.
I'm just saying, if it was similar enough, is there anything you can do if it's in China? Or are you just effed?
Though I wonder, I also wonder, code on a certain level, though, it's almost like some of it you'd really have to argue that, like, what are the copyright infringements around code? I mean, if it's like, yeah, if it's a complete copy paste job, that's one thing where it's line for line obvious, but
Yeah, how do you protect that? Yeah.
Right.
code is, it's a language, so how do you copyright language? You know, I don't know.
Yeah, it's got to be some of the objects or methods or whatever. But
Right.
anyway, yeah, it's fine. It gets too far in the rabbit hole. Keep going there, Siege. I was just
So
curious.
anyway, so on to the next story. More issues. Sony is facing a lawsuit right now, potential lawsuit, because their DualSense controllers have drift issues. There seems to be a problem cropping up with these new controllers. I know Nintendo has had all sorts of problems with drift, and it seems like Sony seems a little more isolated than Nintendo's having, but they are seemingly having some drift issues. But the problem with Sony's is Nintendo was always really good about, hey, send us your dual
The Joy-Cons.
and we will replace them and get it fixed for you. Sony has been
Their philosophy is, fuck you, pay me.
exactly.
Go buy new ones, bitch.
Yeah. So the Joy-Con. Have either of you guys experienced any drift at all on your controllers or no?
Well, as soon as I read this, I was wondering if I had, but I don't think I have.
I haven't.
So everything's
I haven't
been
at
fine.
all.
I haven't at all either. I've been like hypersensitive of it also. Like since I've been like the little I've played this week, I've been like watching like when I've been running on Hitman to see if if I'm drifting at all or my.
Which makes and I wonder, maybe, I mean, apparently it's big enough to where obviously there's now a class action lawsuit, so this is not like an isolated incident, even close to that. So I wonder though, like, I mean, it's probably a manufacturing defect. It wouldn't surprise me if, like, I'm sure they had multiple places manufacturing these controllers, and maybe the batches that were coming out of this one place just were bad.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
wouldn't
know.
be the first time that something like that's happened.
Right. So, but they should acknowledge it. They should fix it. And I never understand. Here's my thing about whenever there's obvious pending litigation about like hardware malfunctions to the point where there's even whispers of a class action lawsuit. All you have to do to get ahead of the game is extend the warranty, include coverage for whatever the lawsuit is going to pen, and then offer a replacement, provided you pay for shipping.
Yeah, seems
It's
pretty simple.
not that big a deal. And
Right, especially if it's
save
your fuck
yourself
up
a lot
in the
of time,
first
money,
place.
and hassle. So, and
So
if you're making people pay to ship it into you to get the replacement, you're not gonna. I'm not gonna send mine in just because I want a new one, because mine works fine. So I'm not gonna
Right.
pay $20 round trip or whatever the fuck it is. Who gives a shit? Like, mine's working fine. Why would I pay that money to get a brand new one? Who gives a shit?
Right.
So I don't know.
and also in other controller news, Sony has filed a patent for the old back button attachment. Now I did not buy the back button attachment for the DualShock controller, but I know Woodsy, you did.
Oh, I did too.
You did too, D?
Oh, I did. It's sitting in the box.
Yeah.
With all the rest of the PS4 stuff.
Used
I
it all
never-
twice. Used it twice.
Zero. Yeah. So what are you guys' thoughts on the? I guess clearly it didn't take for you guys.
It's good. It's actually a very good attachment. I don't really have complaints about it. It's just I'm not used to it, and I never got used to it, and I never played with it enough to try to get used to it. So
Well, didn't you say it occupies a weird space back there where you have to hold the controller funny?
no, not really. It's just about getting used to using your middle fingers to tap.
Oh.
Which
Oh, I
I'm
can
just
do that.
frankly not used to. So it's just like it wasn't a natural thing for me, but I didn't give it as good of a opportunity as I should have. I know other people who have it really like it, like Ryan. The other thing is I wish like some of the integration into games would be better. Whereas, you know how like some games have complete button mapping and others don't. It'd be great if you could actually use it as like an additional to, because right now you can just map any button on the controller to this back button, right? So if I want jump to be X and
the back button,
third trigger, I can. But it'd be even cooler if, you know how there's like buttons that are like long press, short press?
Yeah.
If I could map the long press just to X, and then the short press to the R4 or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Dude, that's a great idea.
That's a good idea.
And I feel like if they allowed for that sort of freedom, then it would really catch on.
Yeah, for me, usually
it's an adjustment. It's an adjustment.
For me, usually I could find a lot of good use for the down press, the L3 and the R3s.
Right.
Because a lot of times, because I know in
sprinting with that fucking just crushes on your thumb eventually.
Because a lot of times in I feel, was it Call of Duty or maybe it was Fortnite? Fortnite. I actually switched jump to R3 because, like we were talking about before, when you have to try and compete with these guys, I can't move my thumb to jump and fire and move the camera and all this shit. So I had to move the camera, and if I could jump at the same time, at least that was cool. But I could see some definite advantage on that back button.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it attaches. I was really hoping they would have just made an attachment for the old version to the new version, but I understand that like the connections are completely different on the bottom side of the controller. Right. So I don't know how they would have done it, to be quite frank, and to fit the form factor, because it is a different beast now. So they probably, it sucks because I have the DualShock 4 one, but I mean, who knows? Maybe the one for the PS5 for the DualSense will also have haptic feedback of some kind integrated into it as well.
Oh my gosh, that would be crazy.
Something crazy like that.
If it built into that?
Right.
Boy, that would be nuts.
That'd be dope. So maybe it will be worth it to upgrade that, even though I'll try it twice and never use the game.
Unless it's a fleshlight. That'll give you your haptic feedback.
Ooh.
So I don't have a good transition out of that comment, but 6 Days in Fallujah. I don't know if you guys heard about the 6 Days in Fallujah. It's a old IP that got kind of dusted before.
Wait, 6 Days in Fellatio? There's your transition.
Hot transition.
6 Days in Fellatio or 6 Days in Fallujah. Two different very things. It was a dead IP, and it is being revived. So if you guys don't know, 6 Days in Fallujah is a game based on one of the most brutal battles that broke out over 6 days in the war with Iraq. So what we've heard so far is, the game is going to come out, and the developers came out and said they kind of want to pull the politics and the history of the war and how it came to be out of it and make it this first-person shooter, or it's just kind of this recap of people who were in the war, and it's allegedly going to be very graphic and brutal and violent. There's a hubbub over it that bubbled up regarding whether the government was funding this game, and if it's being
slash if the storylines and all the shit is being washed by the
government,
DOD, like DOD, like saving face on every level.
And the other piece of it is, so it's a very kind of controversial game. So have you guys heard of this 6 Days in Fallujah? First person shooters, hyper graphic, hyper violent, realistic.
I vaguely remembered it from years gone by, but I haven't thought about it in years as well.
No,
So
but there is nothing
I don't
like
really
that,
care.
but-
I'm sure it's. I have to be honest. I don't think it's going to be very good. I mean, it's been in development hell forever. So,
Well, now hearing that if it's going to be washed and
well, politics aside, which is stupid to even say, and even more, my only real take on this is the developer coming out with such a dumb comment like that. I mean, how could you possibly take the politics out of war?
Right.
Like,
Right.
that's
That
what it's
seems-
all about.
right. So, it is it's the so much war video games. Any video game that depicts war historically, it always is bullshit. So it's odd for me that this one has now caught the ire of the general public when, like, the Medal of Honor series glosses over the atrocities on. I mean, yeah, the Nazis were bad, but the Allies did some shitty things too. So, like, there were some bad things that went on in war. It's war.
Right.
So
You got to do bad shit to win. That's
yeah.
literally what Ghost of Tsushima is all about.
right,
Yeah.
Do you want to win, or do you
Yeah.
want to be honorable?
Honorable and
right,
be smoked.
Right.
right. So it's.
I think that's sad.
and
Yeah.
that's my only real commentary on it. I don't think it'll be that good of a game, but I find it absurd for the developer to make a statement such as that. And of course it's going to be whitewashed, because I say whitewashed, it's not the right term, I know, but
PC washed.
yeah.
Yeah.
I find that
It's going to heavily favor the U.S. military and their actions in the conflict and justify them.
Of course.
This, that, and the other thing. But what fucking war game about the U.S. Army has?
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry.
Well, that's what's just so sad about it. Like, there are very few true to life war game.
You can't make a true to life war
Simulation.
game. I think it's even disrespectful to soldiers who fought in battle to even pretend like it's any, like, unless you're going to literally tell the battle how it actually happened.
That's what I'm saying.
All the grossities and the unnice things that no publisher would ever want to publish.
I know. I'm just saying no one's done that.
Right.
And so if
Okay,
they
yeah,
were
fair,
if they were getting close to that, it's just sad that they abandoned it, and then now we're just going to make it some generic thing like everything else is, because now literally no one will care. Because it was a little interesting if they were going to do like an actual, like, hey, you might learn something if you play this game, because it's literally what happened. It's a true story, and the battles go the way the battles went. And that it is what it is. That would have been interesting to me, but if they're just going to downgrade it to a generic shooter, I don't give a shit.
Right, and I don't mean to also harp on, like, the side of the U.S. military, because God knows they're also not going to have fucking kids who have been kidnapped by ISIS, or, well, the Iraqi forces, running up to U.S. soldiers with fucking bombs on their,
Right.
on their chest, blowing up the U.S. soldiers. They're not going to have that shit either. So it's just let's stop making. It would be probably
Romanticizing
for the
it.
best.
Yeah.
It would probably just be for the best if we just stopped making,
Romanticize.
from a video game perspective, realistic video games about actual battles and actual war that happened.
Well, yeah, because like you're getting at it, it's not historical; it's romanticized.
Right.
Well, it's romanticized, and as they say, history is written by the victor. So,
Yep.
It's true.
Yep. So another news, Metro Exodus, kind of hard pivot here also, is getting a next gen upgrade for free. So I have never played a Metro game. Have you guys, either of you guys, into the Metro games at all?
I have. Actually,
what do you-
I'm on PSN profiles. Hang on, let me look at which one it was. 'Cause,
Well,
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead, boys.
I own all three.
Shocker. And it coming to a pile of shame, pulling me a wheel. Should I play 1,
Well,
2, 3?
when this drops, that'll be dope because that's actually a game I've been finna to play. I've heard Exodus is great.
So what are these Metro Exodus games?
They're like the first two. Well, they are all of like kind of a horror, not quite. I don't want to say horror, but on the scarier side of an FPS. So it's about like a post-apocalyptic bombed out nuclear wasteland in and around like Chernobyl, right? And all these creatures have evolved because of the nuclear waste and the radiation and this, that, and the other thing. So, and it's a survival first person. It's a
cover shooter.
It's a typical first person shooter, but it's like, it's got a slight horror bend to it. They're good games though, and they've always been known for the really great graphics and great gunplay and shit. So in the new one, they kind of made it like an open world ish version, and apparently it got really rave reviews. Metro Exodus did. So when a lot of people, when they originally saw it, they didn't think it was going to amount to much, but then the final product came out, and it wowed a lot of people. It surprised a lot of people. So great for them for continuing to support that game.
Indeed. So I have a new section here for new dates. So the first new date that dropped this week is Ratchet and Clank. So Ratchet and Clank Ripped Apart, allegedly coming out during launch window, according to PlayStation, is dropping a solid, 7 months after launch, 8 months after launch, and it's coming out June 11th. Did either of you guys play the Ratchet and Clank remake or any Ratchet and Clank games at all, or no?
I have not.
Was you did?
Yep. Jake would love that, D.
Oh yeah. All right.
Ratchet and Clank is a lot of fun, man. It came out cheap. It came out at MSRP of like $40, so you can probably get it.
I think you know what, D. I think I have it on disc.
I have it. It was a PS Plus game.
Okay, cool.
Even better. You should let Jake play that game because
he'd love that game.
A lot of fun. It's a little platforming action. They have cool weapons. They have like the disco gun where you shoot the guys and a disco ball pops out and the bad guys like start like dancing and stuff and then dancing and stuff. So it is a very, very cool game. And then they also have a tie-in movie, which the tie-in movie was so-so, but it was really cool. So I'm really excited to see what they do. This kind of feels like that that next gen game. This is one of their showcase games they had of the PlayStation 5 where they're jumping through worlds and like you in one world and all of a sudden like you fall in a hole and you're in a completely different environment and everything. So I'm really excited to see them hopefully use the power of the PlayStation 5 in this. Some of these games that we've been getting that are cross-gen or forwards compatible or whatever, it just doesn't quite feel like a true PlayStation 5 game. That's why I'm excited for UD to get into Astro's Playroom or Astro.
Yes, as Astro's Playroom. Rescue Mission was the first one.
Yeah, Demon Souls is another PlayStation 5 only game. There's been a handful of games that are, not a whole lot, that are just only on the PlayStation 5. So I'm excited to see them flex their muscles. This is a PlayStation 5 exclusive. So yeah, June 11th, in a few months away, we will get our hands on the old Ratchet and Clank.
Woo!
Next, PlayStation 5 upgrade for Avengers, speaking of cross-gen games, is coming out next month, March 18th.
Another game we haven't played.
Exactly. I was just going to say that. So I know none of us have played. Do either of you guys own Avengers or no?
I never bothered. The reviews were all so shitty that I never even bothered.
Same. And they're supposed to have like 12 or 15 fucking DLCs characters total, and they've only released like 2 so far, I believe. Well, no, 1, and then Hawkeye would be the second.
Out, yeah.
Oof.
So
I think they had plans. Well, to at least partially to their credit, they had plans to drop Black Panther. Unfortunately, Chadwick Boseman passed away like right when they were going to drop that. So I think they had to scrap that whole DLC section, but not to excuse the developer by any means. But yeah, you're spot on there, Woodsy. The DLC has not been forthcoming. I'm kind of banking on that coming to a PS Plus near you.
Yeah, I think they'll change the business model out at some juncture because that game lost them a lot of money too.
A ton of money.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping. I mean, I wouldn't mind hopping in and trying it out. But
Is it free?
no,
No, not yet.
no, it's a
The,
full
the
price
de- well,
game.
the demo I played that. I remember playing the demo and thinking the demo was all right.
Yeah, but then they wanted
But
$60.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
well,
now you can probably get it for 30
there
bucks.
was a lot of people had the warning flags are out for this game far before its release, and after Anthem, I think after Anthem and Ghost Recon, Breakpoint, and now this game, I think the hype around these games and service games in general, um, the critical eye is on them from the jump. So, yeah,
Yeah, and that's good. They shouldn't get the benefit of doubt up front anymore because
right,
the consumers have been effed too many times.
yep.
Another new release date. This is a rumored release date, but Truck 1 and 2 are coming to PS, PlayStation in a remastered version, hopefully.
Holy shit.
Maybe dropping hot, like this month hot, February hot. So,
Holy shit.
are either of you two Truck players at all or no?
Dude, yeah, from the old N64 days, man.
64
we're
days,
all,
yep.
we're all
So it
goddamn
sounds
old
like
now.
they'll be coming in hot, yeah.
I actually
man.
didn't play either of these, so I would play the new ones if they're good.
Have we heard a price point on them? No?
For two of them, I guarantee that if they're actually enhanced, I guarantee you they try to get you 40.
Yeah.
I'll probably wait for that to be on a little bit of a sale. So, but if they were going to be 10 or 15, I'd have probably picked them up right away.
Buy it for
but-
20.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm excited about that. That's pretty cool that they're taking those old ass games and remaking them. They really should take GoldenEye and get it up to new console standards and make it full multiplayer and all that shit. Like,
Well, you
They
saw
could
the
make an
you
own
saw,
with
you
that.
saw the art. Did we talk about that last week?
yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if that'll ever happen.
Yeah, I don't think so either. The other kind of news this week is Rainbow Six Quarantine, which has gotten a name change to because Rainbow Six Quarantine was set to drop with that name, but then all of a sudden coronavirus hit, and everyone's like, hey, we probably shouldn't drop a name called Quarantine. Rumored to be called Parasite. As sounds like they'll be dropping a new name soon because Parasite isn't the name they want to go with either. So I'm curious.
Right.
Are you guys Rainbow Six players or no?
yeah. We've hopped into a few of them.
Yeah.
I'm just a little curious
this
on
game
why.
is not anything like Rainbow Six Siege. So,
Oh, really? What's different about it?
It's like a
You just sit at home and do nothing.
It's a three-player. So It's like a survival horror 3-player game.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So it's a totally different game.
Interesting, yeah. So I guess we'll see soon here what the name is. And then kind of the other piece of news dropping soon is that Google Stadia, the long maligned service, will be adding about 100 plus games to their backlog, so they're not quite dead yet. Now, of these 100 plus games, I don't know a whole lot of it coming out, but a lot of them that they've kind of included are not exactly
They're not world breakers.
your skirt type games. Dante, Risky Revenge, they came from Space and Our Brains, FIFA, which is legit, but Killer Queen Black, Kaze, and the Wild Masks. So there's nothing exactly exciting coming to the service. Maybe FIFA, but
There's not. The only thing that is mildly exciting about the overall news about Stadia over the last week was the way they're framing their updates about it. So they're going to focus on their in this one speech that what's his face was giving about what their future goals are. He mentioned focus on our business partners. Our business partners was mentioned a dozen times in the speech, which made people people are speculating on if they're going to try to change out the business model from Steam plus cloud to actually try to do the Netflix thing. And by business partners, they're actually referencing publishers to see what kind of deals they can cut. Who knows? Well, it's a wait and see thing. I don't have a lot of hope. The other actually quick bit of news that I read about Stadia was a week before they announced that all their internal studios were shutting down. Apparently, what's his nuts, the head
Of Stadia?
Yeah, the bald guy. I forgot his name off the top of my head.
Bald fuck.
The guy who's been responsible for the terrible early starts of the PS3 and the launch of the Xbox One. Yeah, that guy. I forget his name. He doesn't have a good track record yet. Keeps getting named as the head of all of these consoles.
How does that happen?
I don't know. Nonetheless, internally it leaked that there was a call with all of the Stadia developers, their actual teams, and everybody was getting a lot of praise. And then a week later, axe.
Oh, you did like the old switcheroo? We gave everyone the old thumbs
Pulled
up.
the rug out.
Pulled it right up their ass.
Everybody was getting smoke blown up their ass the week before.
Hey, let me. Can I bounce something off you guys quick? So we're just gonna go off script with the old Stadia shit. What would you guys think if probably not Nintendo, but if Microsoft / Xbox and PlayStation offloaded, because this gets into your backwards compatibility here, what if these guys offloaded all of the old shit and Stadia just became the place where you go to play those? Like the permanent home, it's a live service subscription, and it's inexpensive, but you can go and play all the old games you want, and they'll forever live there
all the
in
old
the cloud.
Systems? Yeah, that's fine.
All the old systems.
I think that's a great idea, and that'd be like actually that's a good idea, because if it was just like the online subscription service that was also the retro arcade for all the old consoles,
yes,
that'd be dope as fuck.
Because that's maybe what they should think about, is just partnering with everybody and being like, hey, we're going to charge $15 a month or $10 a month, something cheap, and everyone gets a cut. You guys get $2, you guys get $2, right. And that's it.
And that's actually a really good idea, D. Like, because they're not banking on making money off of these old collections really anymore,
right?
Unless you're Nintendo and want to charge $60 for 3 Mario games that you just put together. Fucking jackasses. Yeah. Now I'm gonna buy it anyways because I'm a goddamn collector and I can't help myself. Fuck you, Nintendo.
It's true.
Well, yeah, no, that's a great idea.
Because they have abandoned the idea of being a AAA publisher, and obviously, like as we've talked about several times, like the idea of streaming AAA shit live via VDI, it's okay, and it's always just going to be okay. It's never, and until we get rid of latency, it's just never going to be as good as playing it on a console. So if you played some older shit, that stuff wouldn't be as impactful. And I think they could really find a niche there, and they could make themselves a lot of extra money, because, you know what? If I could play all my old Xbox games and my old PlayStation, like if you could play some original Driver PS1 on there without having to do anything complicated, like I'd probably be a $10 a month guy on that.
For sure.
Yep, same. So the last piece of news we want to touch on here pretty quickly is Remedy announced that they doubled their operating profits in the past fiscal year without actually releasing a game. So, Woodsy, what did you know about the Remedy doubling their profits?
Can you help me with Remedy? Which studio is that?
So that's Control. But really, Control is all they've had in play now for the last year and a half. So Control released just before fiscal year of. It will release at the end of fiscal year 2019, and their DLC all released though in 2020, and now then the updated PS5, Xbox Series version of the Control Ultimate Edition released also during. That released in 2021, so they technically made all of this money. In 2020 off of these 2 DLC packs and the pre-orders for their new game. or the updated version of their old game. So good for them.
Nice,
Crazy
nice. I'm. It's actually one of the games I'm looking forward to hopping into once Hitman kind of settles down. I beat that game out. I'm really curious to hop into Control. PS5 Control.
You mean beat the living shit out of that game? Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, indeed. So, Woodsy, your pile o' shame.
Oh yeah.
How's it coming?
Well, I am happy to report that LeBron James's ugly mug will not be gracing my fat hairy ass. Nor will we get the powder fart emoji coming out from.
I was so excited to live stream that.
Yes. So I rolled credits on that bitch, and we have played that online quite a bit, and I feel like you would agree, both of you, that when we have done so, we've had a pretty good time. I think it's a fun game, and I do like it.
I actually really like it, and my only thing is as we've covered is that wait time between those matches, man. If it would be like Rocket League, and within 30 seconds you're in that next one,
I know.
I think we'd crush that a little more than we do. It is a little bit of fun.
It's pretty fun, especially because it's a kart racer. Like, even if you're in 7th place in the final lap, you're still not out of it. Some bullshit's gonna happen. So,
because you get all the good shit.
It's a great game. It's fun, and I actually kind of want to go in there and do some of the extra challenges and all that other stuff because it's a very technical game. You have to be good at the game to beat the game.
I'm still trying to.
Weirdly enough, the irony is I pulled a LeBron James, and I put it on easy mode by going to an already established super team or making my own. And by that I mean, I just literally took it down from medium to easy. So because it was too hard on medium, so I started my super team, put it on easy. So fuck you, LeBron, and
I like it.
Racing. One thumb, big ups.
Nice.
I also got a couple games.
I guess.
Oh yeah.
I thought
new poll.
New poll.
Oh yeah, new poll. We should discuss this. So we mentioned a couple games now. We mentioned Metro Exodus. We touched on the Division 2, going back into that. And then we just discussed one during this episode as well. Another one. I forget. I know we all have it. Or I believe we all have it. I don't know. But, I very much liked having a game that is part of the Pile of Shame playthrough that we get to play together.
The multiplayer, that was cool. I did also enjoy that.
Yeah, even though I wasn't making progress on like the single player story during that, but that's just the way that game is set up. But it was still fun. So
agreed.
I'm thinking maybe the Division 2, and I know CJ, you've already crushed that one, and I think Ryan has too.
What?
You guys could serve me through the main game. I don't know. Sorry, D. I don't know if you did or didn't.
CJ, you played through Division 2?
Yeah, I played through beating it. Yep.
What the fuck,
Not
man?
platinum it, but I wouldn't mind going back and trying for that big ball of platinum. Yeah, I played through and beat the shit out of that game.
But we could go through and beat that.
I didn't even know
that Gangs in New York, or whatever the fuck big DLC pack Ryan made us all buy for $1 billion.
Oh fuck! Did we all buy the? No, man. I bought that game like full price. I didn't buy the DLC because Ryan was like, "Hey guys, that's on sale," and I went, "Hey, remember when we played Division 2 like a year ago and everyone hated it because they
I bought it.
Fucked the way.
Fucking dumb.
Have they fixed the way you upgrade stuff in there?
No.
Like, is it?
I don't fucking know. I haven't touched it. So
I don't.
They did, however, roll out a PS5 patch. Although I've heard the PS5 patch is a little jank right now. So
Did the PS5 patch fix how you upgrade your guns?
Why I kind of want to maybe get into it. Anyway, so we'll have to think of some games. We'll talk about it in our Twitter thread some more. Because I want them to be good. I want the polls to be better, where there's not like one or two clear favorites and the others are just sort of throwaways.
Yeah, you should probably stop putting Remnant in your polls then.
No, dude, we got to do the DLC.
Yeah,
we got to do the Remnant DLC.
We do need to do the DLC.
I will jump in there with you. Ryan also bought it. CJ, you just...
He bought it. We'll buy it for you.
You go hide under your desk. That game wasn't all that bad.
Yeah.
Game was horrible.
Like
He just likes to hate.
Dude,
Dude, in every fucking list of games that compares.
How are you such a hater on Remnant?
This is always in everybody's top 10, top 5. It's always in everybody's top 5.
You platinum.
I legitimately do not like that.
Stop.
You platinum Division 2. How did you like Division 2 more than Remnant? Division 2 was an awful game.
Remnant is a procedurally generated game that I feel like is difficult for difficulty's sake. They definitely try to go after the Souls riff, but
CJ,
but don't you like those games?
I do, but what makes the Souls special is that what makes the Souls game special is that they they have their reasons for why they place guys where they do, right? There's a world building that's very
specific. The great one says you can kiss his ass.
Very specific about the world building that happens in the Souls game. So the levels are very intricate and meticulously designed. And so
that you have to go a certain way, and then you have to make your way.
And then you're walking through, and all of a sudden you open a door, and you're like, "Holy shit, I'm back here!" Or you go through an elevator, and like, "How the hell did I get here?" And then you piece together how the world makes sense. And this guy's down here because he is this kind of guy, and all the lore that builds into it just makes it amazing. Where I have problems with my biggest problem with Remnant is that it's all procedurally generated, right? So it's just like, here's this random collection of guys, here's this randomly laid out level,
right?
And just bang your head against the wall because it's hard as balls, right? So Souls games
can be to its credit, it took the formula that was Dark Souls, turned it on its head, and also sort of blended it with the looter shooter genre.
And what looter shooter games do you know that I like?
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, CJ's not a
Division
guy.
The Division 2.
And that's.
But he was playing the single player, not the online, right?
I wasn't rerunning. I wasn't rerunning things to try to drop the loot. I was playing through the story and trying to beat the game.
Yeah, because in that vein
Anthem. You didn't mind Anthem.
But how often did I play that?
The 10 minutes we played that. I liked Remnant a little more than Destiny. Because of the procedural generated stuff, because everything the maps were a little different every time. The dudes were in different places every time. Like that made it more. It makes it less grindy because it's different every time. And
well,
it's not as good as it could be.
Procedural generation.
I know.
Each part of the level is always like there's like a total of 9 variations or parts, and then they mix and match like 4 or 5 of them.
Right,
which is what makes it kind
of it's not as good as it could be, as we've discussed, but it's a step in the right direction because you know what's going there.
Falls flat for me, so that's why I did not like. I just can't get a.
All right, but I would jump in that with you, Woods.
I tried with that damn game. I tried it. I beat it before Woods did. I tried.
That is forever. That's forever in Raw Cuts gaming history,
baby. You gotta go there.
CJ beat that game. They beat that game before Woods. You sure did.
So
platinum before me, CJ.
No, I will not platinum the game. It's already been stained on my PlayStation history of most played multiplayer game of last year. So, with all that being said, that completes the 31st episode of the Raw Cuts Gaming Podcast.
I did have one extra take I just wanted to talk about with regards to the pile of shame.
Okay.
Part of accumulating a pile of shame over the years is, especially like for the PlayStation 3, you end up accumulating a lot of GameStop versions of the game with the generic cover, or going to a Redbox and getting the fucking little Redbox jewel case, so on and so forth. So one of the things I like to touch on from time to time, in the last podcast I was a part of, was about the preservation of video games as an art form. So part of what being a collector is, I guess for me, It's an appreciation of the art form in general, and wanting to see it preserved or go on, which, and I harp on digital ownership rights a lot when it comes to like bagging on Nintendo, especially, and backwards compatibility, explicitly because it's a consumer friendly thing that they should just fucking do, period. But B, it's important from a historical preservation perspective to try to preserve these games. Now, one of the aspects of preserving games is there are people who like preserve. There's a group, and actually, the guys at Game Informer, I listened to a podcast from them about this about a year or two ago, and it was really interesting because they actually worked with a nonprofit that actually, I think they also work with the Smithsonian and the Library of Congress to help catalog and preserve video games. Not only the video games themselves in the physical form, but the code, the artwork, the box art, the some of the marketing materials, so on and so forth. So they preserve them as an art form. But as a consumer of games and a collector of video games, who likes to, a generation down the road, watch YouTube videos and read through lists of what are the games of last generation you missed that were actually golden games, golden opportunity games. And I may never play them, and I don't play most of them, but I'd like to go back and own them, especially if they're like console exclusives. So one of the problems you run into, though, is when you buy like them for cheap way down the road, and you're buy 4 get 1 free specials for $20 at GameStop or wherever the fuck, is you get their generic bullshit GameStop cover art. Here's the game with text. It's not the actual cover art that belonged to the game when it was originally packaged, right? And so I went into my office today, because it was open for the first time in 11 months. And before I went in, one of the things I wanted to do was take photos of all the games where I have this generic slide insert from the GameStop, and print out all the cover art for all these games, of which I had it missing, so that I could have it. And I was able to find the cover art, sort of. The problem is it's not as easy to come by as you'd think it would be. And one thing I noticed is for older consoles like the PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360, and so on, the availability of the image files you can find for the cover art of those games is a lot more prevalent across the board than is for the current generation. And now I theorize, even the PlayStation 4, and I theorize that part of the reason why this is the case is because the transition to digital is definitely affecting this. Now, because most of these things are like on forums of various kinds and posted to websites that are effectively forums. So it's people uploading cover art. Now, there's some cover art I wasn't even able to find in like the NTSC, right, where I'm getting the Peggy 16 bullshit, because it's the only piece of cover art I could find was from the European version.
Were you checking the torrents at all?
Nah, no, I was just...
Because I know from my hacking days, like with the Wii and everything, there's a lot of that shit, allegedly, not that I did it, I read about it, that you would be able to download most of the cover arts. Because I know, like with the Wii,
I was scouring many sites and Reddit
Okay.
and Google Images for all this stuff, and there were some cases I was striking out where I couldn't find a super high quality image,
right.
or the only cover art that you could find was like in fucking German or
What's wrong with that? You got a
French.
problem with German
Nothing.
people?
Nothing. Or say you couldn't find the original, like the normal version of the game. You could only find like the collector's version of the game's cover art for some fucking weird reason.
That's
So
odd that that's not preserved somewhere.
right, you would think it would be because it's just a simple image file.
Are most of these PlayStation games?
Say what?
Are most of these PlayStation games?
Of the games that I had to find the cover art for, there were 3 Xbox 360 games. Couple, and some of these titles are pretty obscure. To be fair, and then there were like 15 or 16 PlayStation 3 games and 6 PS4 games.
Because I just feel like there's someone at Sony that you should be able to email and just literally tell them you're trying to do this, and they should be able to find something for you. Because like you're not trying to do anything shifty. You're like, hey, I just don't want this bullshit GameStop cover art in my games, and I'm trying to preserve the historical quality of them. And,
Right.
you know, can you guys do something for me for these titles? I feel like we should be able to find that. We have a lot of pull. I mean, like Ryan watches this podcast, so.
But they may do that for actual historical societies, like the Library of Congress and whatnot. But there probably are restrictions about making them just available to the public on any forum because it technically is art, right? And you can't just, in a lot of cases, especially when that art is owned by publishers and.
Well, right. That's where I was wondering if we maybe get a hold of someone. We should maybe take this on as a little Raw Cuts Gaming mission. We should try and find someone at Sony and literally just tell them what you're trying to do. And even if they don't send you the image files digitally, maybe they would send you sleeves or even cases. Like, who fucking knows? Like,
I don't know.
You're doing it for historical purposes. I feel like they should be able to do something.
Well, I'm not doing it for historical purposes. I'm doing it because I don't want this just bullshit generic GameStop crap.
We don't have to know that.
God damn it, Woods! Woods!
Doing it.
God damn it!
No, right, because that wasn't already clear.
Woods! You're doing this for historical preservation purposes.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, I just wanted to touch on that because I've been meaning to do it for a while, and when we were at the office pre-COVID, I would do like 2 to 3 sheets like every week. Allegedly, just because I didn't want people to be like, "What are you printing all this color photo shit
on your lunch break?" Well,
right. So, yeah, just I've been meaning to do that for a while, so I went in and did a bunch, and now I don't think I think I've, even though some of them are in German, and some of them are lower res than I would like, I believe I no longer have any titles that are box artless. Nice. So of my physical games. So nice. From the pile of shame is now in full color.
We like that.
Love it.
So, with all that being said, this now concludes the 31st episode of the Raw Cuts Gaming Podcast. We thank you, the listener, for tuning into all of our uncut takes and all things video games. And we appreciate you joining us each and every week for more Raw Cuts Gaming. If you'd like to be part of the show, we urge you to reach out to our Twitter handle at Raw Cuts Gaming. If you want to be part of, if you want to watch us for whatever reason, check us out on the YouTube channel, Raw Cuts Gaming. You can email us if you're into emailing, rawcutsgaming@gmail.com.
Send us some porn.
Or if you don't want to reach out to us on our group handle, you can reach out to us individually. D, if people want to get a hold of you, where is the best place to find you?
Don't forget to find us on the Twitcher machines at the Raw Cuts Gaming. For Big D personally, I'm on the Bird Twitters at Naked Gamer 84, and I'm on the Twitchers as noob with zeros _ naked gamer.
Woodsy, if people want to find your hot takes, your Twitter beef makes, where is the best place to do so?
My handlebar mustache shakes.
Ooh!
You can find me at woods_or_wads with a Z on Twitter
Gotcha.
and Raw Cuts Gaming on Twitch.
Nice. And if you want to find me, your resident trophy hunting host, you can find me on Twitter at CJ Reindahl.
Love you guys. Thanks for watching, Ryan.
You can also find him at 1-800-LOVELINE.
Oh!
Just gotta press 69 for CJ.
Oh. #69.